where she had parked before and pulled out her phone to search for a tow truck driver. 2 hours later, after a bit of shopping on the mainland boardwalk, she watched the dark sky out of the high window in the front of the tow truck. This time, being in a larger vehicle made her feel much less nervous. They bounced along the bridge, with her car and all of her earthly possessions hooked behind them. She stole a glance at the man behind the wheel. He was a large man, barrel-chested, with a big belly. His face was covered in stubbly whiskers, and a hint of red sauce from the pizza she guessed he had eaten for dinner. Her stomach threatened her again. She turned her head to look out the window and forced thoughts of the large man eating pizza from her imagination. It was a curse sometimes, knowing food as she did. She liked to pretend it was a gift, but it wasn't. It was the result of the 2 years she spent in culinary school before she dropped out just 3 weeks shy of her graduation. The rest of her knowledge she garnered from the years that followed. She had worked in one diner after another, learning the ins and outs of the restaurant business in all the ways she'd never expected. The sauce on the driver's face bothered her. Let him have his leftovers, Billie said to herself. She was just glad that he hadn't made an attempt to flirt with her. Or maybe she was disappointed. The exhaustion running through her veins made it hard for her to tell. She was a little old for such things. She knew that. At 33, she was well past the bloom of youth. And she was no raging beauty, either. Her dirty blonde hair hung to her shoulders, but would grow no further. Billie blamed the years she spent working the kitchens of Greasy Spoons for the lack of growth. She wore it pulled up most of the time, anyway. She wore little makeup, aside from mascara, and her waist was thicker than she liked it to be, another casualty of her life's work. But her legs were strong and muscular, her green eyes were bright, and her skin was clear. And that summed up the best aspects of her physical features. No wonder the man didn't pay her any attention. She was plain at best. Passable. Pull yourself together, Halifax, she scolded herself. The man muttered something as he drove. What did you say? Billie asked him. I just asked you what was wrong with your car, he said. There ain't very many garages on the island. Most folks tow out, not in. My car? Oh, my car is perfectly fine, she said, and turned back to the window. The man cleared his throat. Your car is fine? Then maybe you could explain to me why I had to come get you and tow it across the bridge. Messing around with my time isn't nice, lady. Billie turned back to the man. She studied the spot of red sauce on his chin. I already paid you for your services, she said. She knew she'd been short with him, but she didn't have it in her to explain that she was afraid to drive over the bridge. I guess, he said. Just seems like a heck of a way to blow $250. Billie felt a lump form in her throat. She'd miscalculated the cost of the tow truck and had simply handed over her debit card and taken the tow company's website cost calculator for granted. After she had entered her location and destination, the calculator told her that her cost for the truck amounted to $125. She wanted to ask the man why it had doubled. You have pizza sauce on your face, was all she'd said instead. Well, aren't you just a peach? He shook his head at her. She hadn't meant to act that way, at least not to a stranger. But her patience was wearing thin, and she was still embarrassed for having to call him in the first place. No one in Billie's life had ever claimed she was anything but awkward when she felt called out by something. This situation was no different. Open mouth, insert foot had quickly become her life's motto. Yeah, sorry. It's just that I'm new to the island, and it seems that I have quite a bit of work cut out for me. The driver shrugged a shoulder. I don't know what that work is, but if you aren't even there yet and are already this riled up, I won't keep giving you a hard time.